My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. What's been kicking around in my universe lately has been the topic of aging. It just kind of makes me tired even bringing up that word. Aging. Oh my goodness. How many judgments do we all have about aging? How many points of view? How many avoiding, defending do we have about aging? What if aging was kind of a choice? And I'm going to present that to you. And I feel like I was on a stage back in the old days. Tomatoes might start getting thrown at me for that comment. But if you lower your barriers for a minute, is there a sense of lightness about that? That aging is a choice. We choose to age and mold our bodies. Growing up, I always kind of looked younger than what I was, than the age that my body was. That makes more sense. And I used to hate it. It would drive me insane. I remember I was first year college, so I would have been 18. And I was at a store and sorry, I may have seen me blank out for a minute. And my apologies. I started to download some information. That's sometimes how it shows up for me. But I was, about 18. I was in college. I'm feeling like I'm so grown up, and I go into a corner store to pick something up. And the lady leans over and talks to me sweetly like I was a 12-year-old. She's like, "Oh, honey, is there an in-service day today? No school for you?" I'm like, "Excuse me. I'm in college," which still is pretty young. From the perspective I live in right now, being an 18-year-old in college is still pretty young. But it frustrated me. Aging, it was like this interesting thing with aging that I always had. And then I had people in my life, like some of my relatives, where they would always be like, "I'm so old." And to me, they looked so young, so vibrant. And I'd always say to them, like, "Well, you're not even halfway through your life. Like, how can you be old already? Like, are we old before we're even halfway through?" All these points of view. So most of us grew up around someone that had points of view about aging. And you may have collected those points of view kind of like I did, or you may be resistant or reacted and have fought those points of view. We've talked a lot about resistance and reaction on the show here, but if you're new, let me just remind you that if you are resisting or reacting to anything, you have already aligned and agreed with it. That's the only way that you can be in resistance and reaction, is that you've already agreed it's something to resist and react to. Okay. So here we are, and we go through life and we have these points of view. And then we start to create our bodies with these points of view, with these alignment agreements, and with these resistance and reactions in place. So those that have less points of view about aging, would they have more choice or less choice? What if you actually have more choice about aging the less points of view you have about aging? Yes. I am super grateful because I would say de-aged. I was like starting to feel like I was getting pretty old in my early 30s. Being a mama of a very sensitive kiddo, and who I learned very much later was autistic and had ADHD, and not having any support from my husband at the time, and total lack of sleep, total lack of self-care. I just felt really, really old. And if you actually look at pictures of me at that time and pictures of me now, I look much younger. I feel much younger. What is that? Is it Botox? Is it facelifts? Is it doing like external measures? No, not for me. No. And I have no judgment against that. Is it actually the energy of things? Is it actually letting go of the limitations, letting go of the burdens, letting go of those things that weigh you down? We know that certain things like stress, adrenal fatigue, burnout, like all these things impact the actual cells of your body, right? So why wouldn't it impact the aging of the cells of your body as well? Now, if you're resisting aging, then you're going to create it. Because again, you've already decided, I am aging, I am getting old, and this is bad. And now I'm going to resist aging and getting old because it is so bad. Well, you have to create it to resist it. You have to create the aging in your body so you can resist the aging in your body. If you're willing to have no point of view if you age or if you don't age, how your body ages and how your body doesn't age, then you start to have this possibility of communion with your body and manipulation of the energetics and awareness of what your body requires to have its vitality, have its vibrancy, and have its indefinite living agelessness, if that's something that you're interested in. So there'll be times, especially I find coming up around birthdays or like those benchmark birthdays, like, oh, you hit your 40s, oh, or 45, or, you know when you have to like do those surveys and they're like, are you in this category? Like, is you aged from this to this or this to this? It's like all those sneaky categories have these points of view attached to them. And the moment you get close to one or you have got into the next box, the next category, I swear I see so much of like the bodies just sync up and align and agree with how is a 40-year-old body supposed to be like. Oh, I don't even want to know that question. What is a 50-year-old body supposed to be like? A 60-year-old body, a 70-year-old body, an 80-year-old body? Well, those are all points of view. Do they have to be realities? How do you know it's a point of view? Well, guaranteed you could find someone on the planet in that age bracket that doesn't follow the exact thing that the medical world that studies aging says is true. So then, is it true? Is it a point of view? Maybe you want to be the anomaly. Maybe you want to be that magical creature that is in their hundreds looking like they're 45 or 30. But if you could have the fountain of youth called you, the being. So what do we know? We know that we age our bodies with our points of view. We know that when we align and agree with aging, we start to create aging. We know that these factors of like stress, the heaviness of the world, the burden, all that stuff can really weigh down and really impact the cells of your body with that unconsciousness and anti-consciousness, right? Some things that I do personally for my own like indefinite living practice is I get my bars run. I try and do it weekly if I can't, every second week. The access bars, they're 32 points on the head. And you get practitioners just to hold them, like just hold these points, these little points up here, and they'll hold them and it releases points of view, like aging. Points of view about aging cleared out. If you can clear them out of your head, if you can clear them out of your world, you can clear them out of your cells. I always, when I would hear about like, oh, your body, we have these bodies, right? These miraculous little bodies, and they can like do all this stuff, and in their developmental age, like you were just like this little sperm that went into an egg, and then things happen, right? And like you developed organs, and you grew limbs and bones and everything, and then all of a sudden our body just can't do it anymore. Why? I never aligned and agree with it. I was like, no, I get my body can create anything that it would like to create. So what's required to create what your body needs to create? Sometimes we need certain materials, meaning, body, what would you like me to eat? Body, what would you like me to drink? Because your body knows what it requires. And if indefinite living is something that you are creating your life as, you're creating with your body, then your body will desire to have the sources for that in its life. Does that make sense? So if you some people love getting old, okay? They want to show their age, kind of like how I was always trying to look older, but really I didn't want to look older. I just wanted people to take me more seriously. Which still hasn't quite happened. Maybe it's because I'm not serious enough, and I'm okay with that now. I'm not a 12-year-old girl trying to prove my value in the world. But if you want to look older, that's okay. That's completely fine. If you want to create that with your body, if you want to like be the grandma and you want to have that, or the grandpa or whatever, like perhaps aging is something that you would like to do and to create something in the world with your body. If for you, it's in more the energy of indefinite living, it's the more the energy of, hey body, what if we could live indefinitely? What if we could have indefinite health? What if we could have total regeneration of all cells continuously? What if we didn't have to shut down these superpower things that our bodies have? What if gravity didn't have to take hold and take control and diminish us? What if we could be ageless? And when I say ageless, because some people are like, oh, I want to be how I was in my 20s, or I want to de-age or whatever. There actually is no time in which I would go, oh, that was my ideal body, because my body has evolved its consciousness, its capacities. I would never want to go back. So you got to really look at, what are you asking for with your body? When I look at indefinite living and agelessness, going so beyond aging, that means I could appear as any age that I require to appear as to create what I want to create. So for example, sometimes it can work to your benefit to appear younger and innocent, and maybe things will go just a little bit more easy for you. And then sometimes in other situations, like I was talking about, no one take you seriously. It's a terrible time to look young. You want to look kind of like older and more mature. And what if your body could actually shift and change? What if you could actually appear whatever age was required in every moment? And I know I'm like going a little bit into the crazy town land, but that's what we do here in the Curious Universe. What if your body really truly could appear as any age to create whatever it is that you would like to create in that moment? Therefore, you're not aligning and agreeing with being older or being younger. You're just showing up with whatever age is required, whatever's going to bring more. Our bodies are manipulations on this planet. It is a way for us to interact with the world, engage with the world, and create different energies, different scenarios, different possibilities. So sometimes the possibility, you might actually desire to appear older or appear younger or appear to have no age, and people are just confused, which is kind of my favorite. My favorite, because people are always very surprised at my age. And no, it's not just people being polite. I had considered that at one point, but people do that too. But how much fun can you have having an undefinable age? What would that actually create for the cells of your body? Do you notice that when certain people get to a certain age, so let's say growing up, your parents were in their 30s or 40s, just kind of depending if they had kids younger or older, right? And you're here, this kid, and you have so much energy, and you're like, and then you see your dad, and he's working hard, and he's always tired at the end of the day, and he's just tired at dinner. And you start to solidify that's what a 40-year-old is, right? That's like a dad. And then you're like all young and like you're in your 30s and you're enjoying life, and then maybe you become a dad all of a sudden, and you're like, whoa, okay, so being a dad, I need to become tired at the end of the day. I need to become this energy. This is what being a dad is. See how these points of view lock you in? Everything that is, all the points of view you've locked in from observing your parents. Will you destroy to greet them, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, talking about all night, shorts, boys, poems, and beyonds. If you're new to the show, if you've never heard that before, that was the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can learn more at the theclearingstatement.com. We always have a link in the description because I use it pretty much every show. It's just a way to actually clear out energy. It's a clearing statement. You say the statement, it clears out energy. So we bring up the energy on the show and we clear it out. It's so awesome. We want to clear out these energies because you will lock those points of view, and then your body that just wants to make you happy will actualize that point of view for you. It will deliver, it will validate that, and then you judge it and you're frustrated with it for doing exactly what you actually asked it to do, was to get old and get tired and disintegrate. So again, everything that is and all the points of view you have locked in, will you just train and create it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, but all night, towards boys, poets, we ask. Oh, another thing, I talked about the access bars that help me clear the points of view about aging. There's also a process called the access facelift. It's not cutting things and lifting things. It's actually like a hands-on process where you touch the body, someone else does it for you, and you run this facelift energy. It's so yummy. I love it so much. I always call it like the nurturing process, because when I'm having it run on me, especially by someone kind, it is the most nurturing sensation I've ever experienced in my life. And people just look more vibrant and younger. And if you want to actually look up the Access Facelift on the Access Consciousness site, I think if you go to accessconscious.com/a facelift, there's some like before and after shots that we did that are actually quite incredible after just a few sessions. Everybody's different. But what we're doing is we're actually unlocking the cells. Like we're unlocking all the things that have impacted the structures of the body. It's created the unconsciousness and anti-consciousness of aging, and you unlock them and you release it so that your body can return to a generative state. I know it sounds freaking crazy, because I mean, if energy could do that, then everyone on the planet would look ridiculously young, right? But what if it can? What if it's that point of view that can't really work, that keeps it from working, that keeps us from choosing it, and the points of view that we are not willing to let go of. There are so many people that are very invested in their points of view. It's almost like they hold them close and dear as though they are themselves. Your points of view, your judgments do nothing but kill your possibilities. They kill your body. They lock in limitation. That is what your judgments do. And we make them so valuable. We make them us. If you had no point of view, who would you be? You'd probably be happy and ageless. Okay, so let me give you a few tools. So bars, access conscious facelift, these are great things that you can do with your body and for your body to unlock these points of view, to kind of get your receiving of an ageless living into the world. There's another great tool that I've used, And like I was saying before, like these benchmarks, I find when I'm reaching a benchmark or I've just reached a benchmark, then it's like I'm perceiving a broadcast system like pounding at me these points of view. Like I'm like, where are you coming from? Like, shit, I'm in the other box. I checked that other age group. Oh man, now it's as if there's like this person and they're like, oh, darling, she's in this age group now. We shall add these limitations and we shall beam her from above. We shall beam her from the moon. And right to me in my body. If I resist and react to that, then I have aligned and agreed to that, right? So instead, you can do something called interesting point of view. It is a miraculous tool. You can use it for a million and one things, but we're going to use it for aging right now. So I would be like, say I'm like putting on my mascara and I'm like, oh my God, I got all these lines under my eyes. What's going on here? And then I can like that. It's like they turned up the dial and I'm like, oh, I feel the beam is real. It's here. I'm getting old. Rather than trying to pretend like, no, it's not happening. No. And I've seen people do that too. No. I'll be with it. I'll just be with my body. Okay. And I often clear judgments in mirrors because, guys, energy is everything. Literally everything. You could pick up energy in a mirror. So if someone was in your mirror and they were looking at their body and judging their body as olding and aging, and then you go and look in the same mirror, you're going to pick up the energy of olding and aging and you're going to put it on your face and you're going to think it's yours. So I clear the energy of the mirror. Okay. And I get really present with my body. And then I go, interesting point of view. I have this point of view about aging. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about, what did I say? Like fine lines and wrinkles. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about the way I look. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about all of this. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about aging. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about my body aging. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about fine lines and wrinkles. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about all the things that you can think of. Okay. And so as you're clearing, you may have just noticed right now, the energy will start to dissipate. The points of view are dissipating right off your face, right out of your world. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And then you go, interesting point of view. They have this point of view because other people will project aging at you, whether it's you're aging right or you're aging wrong. Those are just judgments. Yeah. Younger kids, of course, they're going to look at you as like you're old, like we did when we looked at our parents when they were not that old, but we were like, you're so old. So there's all these projections and expectations that we pick up, and we are in a battle with those. So we're interesting point of view. I have this point of view about their points of view. Interesting point of view. They have these points of view. Interesting point of view. I have these points of view. Interesting point of view. They have these points of view. Interesting point of view. I have these points of view about their points of view. Run it. I could still perceive it. Like we could probably run this for like an hour. Okay, so then, yes. So once that starts to clear up, you'll just start to see yourself differently. It'll actually start to unlock the cells. And then you can have these kind of body communication conversations. I talk to my body all the time. And the more you do it, it might feel weird at first. It was really weird for me anyways. And the more you do it, the easier it gets and the clearer it gets. Body, what do you require for us to reverse aging? Body, what do you require for us to feel and be and look 5-10 years younger? That one's a little tricky because there's even points of view on what you look like 10 years younger, as I was kind of talking about before. So you could, to leave it a little more open, I would just go into reverse aging because that's so undefined, right? Body, what do you require to reverse age? get out in the sun more, or get out in the sun less, or earth, or drink lemon water. I don't know. You'll have these things will pop in. But then your body knows now this is something you're asking for. This is something you'd like to create with it. Have you even had that conversation? You may have judged your body, assuming that your body knew, of course, I don't want to age. I've been judging it for aging for years. But have you actually talked to it like it was your business partner? You know, like if you had this target with your business partner of like, I would like to increase revenue by 50% by next year. And you assume that they know that. Of course, we want to increase revenue, but maybe they don't. Maybe you need to sit down and be like, hey, what can we do? What can we do together that would create this, that would actualize this? Ask your body, what can we create together that would actualize indefinite living, that would actualize agelessness, that would actualize reverse aging? Now, you might notice that your body right now is kind of activating something, is kind of showing you something. Don't ignore it. Even if you don't have words for it, even if you're not getting like a cognitive, like, oh, this is what I need to do, just acknowledge that energy. Oh, okay. Thank you, body. Show me the way. Just carry on with your life. Don't focus on it. Don't make it significant. Just play with it. Engage with your body and engage with the possibilities of agelessness. Because this world doesn't really talk about agelessness. It doesn't really like present that as something possible. It is you will age, period. The rate at which you will age is determined on your genetics, period. But don't worry, because we have some medi spas that will take care of that for you, or we have medication, or we have whatever. So I get a lot of people want to throw their hands up and they're like, okay, whatever, I'll just age then, or I'll do all the things I can to avoid aging. What if there was even another possibility? What age would your body like to be? What if your body had some choice in the matter? Body, what age would you like to show up as in the world? And just let it be. Don't try and control it, whatever age shows up. And then you might ask it again in like 10 days. It might change. Maybe your body goes younger. Maybe your body stays the same. Maybe your body has more awareness. Body, what age would you like to show up in the world as? Body, what age would you like to feel like you are? I'm guessing a lot of bodies would like to feel a lot younger. They would like to have the energy. They would like to play and move and enjoy life and living. If you're willing to give up the structure of aging, whatever structures you bought about it, structures you bought from your parents, structures you bought from your culture, your religion, your community, your family. We bought all these structures. And we have all these points of view holding them in place. And we structure our bodies to fit into this model of aging. And then there's those random anomalies. And you're like, wow. How did they do that? You want to know, like, what's their skincare secret? Or what do they eat? Maybe it's not exactly that one thing. Maybe it's all of it. Maybe it's the consciousness of their body, their willingness to not structure aging into their physical world, to let go of those points of view, to explore indefinite living and what that would be like. Well, thank you so much for exploring the topic of aging with me. Maybe the next time you see me, I'll look even younger just from this conversation. Who knows? And I don't actually have the point of view that I'm required to look younger either. How does it get any better than that? To really enjoy the way our body aesthetically shows up in the world moment by moment, day by day, for whatever beautiful possibility that is. So again, thank you for joining me on the Curious Universe podcast, where we break down the structures of this reality so you can have your own reality. Create it, have it, it is yours. And what reality is yours with aging, I wonder. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Let me know.
Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?